At Boss, we have a manifesto. We're not just tool makers, we're time liberators. Consider us the intersection of efficiency and innovation. Our mission here is simple. We build new age tools that allow you to work smarter, not harder, because in life, every minute counts. Every tool we make is purpose built to flip the script. We should all work to live, not live to work. Why? Because we believe in the American dream. We believe in the American worker, and we believe in America the idea. Build a better future faster with Boss.
Pete, thanks for showing up.
Hey, not a problem.
Thanks for taking the time. I know you're a busy man, so tell us a little bit about yourself.
Born and raised in Mayville, Michigan. Live about a mile and a half from where I was raised, and we started a company back in 2006 called Northern Log Supply, and we manufacture rustic wood products and ship nationwide.
Really?
Get into pre-finishing and just get into anything rustic.
Interesting. Very interesting. So you were raised locally,
Yes.
and you were raised by a very good family. Your dad was our state senator, correct?
That's correct.
For how long was he the state senator?
He was 2 4-year terms, so 8 years. Yep.
8 years total.
Yep. And then he was also a representative for 6 years. So in political history is about 20 years from
Right.
county to helping with Senator Joel Goujon and just kind of being in the whole political industry for probably 25, 30 years of his life.
And he started, he was employed by General Motors, is that correct?
Yep.
So he was what we call a shop worker here in
Yes,
Michigan, right?
correct.
And then he decided he was going to run for political office.
Correct.
And then he had to start, I guess, at the bottom, you would say, right?
Yeah, so while he was in General Motors, he was a county commissioner for maybe 8 to 10 years. Served on some right to life boards. Served in the Tuscola County, different. I think maybe he was on a drain commission board. And then opportunity came up while he was still employed with General Motors to run a state rep. He was really close to being able to retire. He was at the Flint V8 engine plant,
Okay.
and they were doing some early buyouts.
Yep.
He took an early buyout. I think he had 24 years in. Took maybe a year and a half. Was in the jobs bank for a little bit, and then ran for state representative. I was able to secure that position.
Yep.
And then because of term limits, he was out for a couple years.
Yep.
At that time, he worked with Senator Joel Goujon's office and kind of learned the area. Wasn't familiar with Bay City. He got working in Bay City through the Goujon campaign, and then once Joel was term limited out, he ran for that seat, which was Tuscola, Huron County, and Bay County was his district area.
Mostly an agricultural area, would you agree?
That's correct.
I have very fond memories of working for your dad as a youngster. I had to be probably 14, 15, 16 years old. Your mom would drive the tractor.
Yeah.
Your dad would bale the hay, and me and my older brother, I've got a brother that I think he's 13 months older than I, we would load the wagons.
Oh, yeah.
And you haven't lived until you've baled hay. Would you agree?
That's correct. That's correct.
It's a good learning experience. I just kind of chuckle to myself when I'm driving down the road and I see the guys with all the latest and the greatest of equipment, you know, the round balers, and they got the tedders, and they got the V-rakes, air-conditioned tractors, you know, comfort, like you can't believe. And I wonder oftentimes, I wonder if they've ever baled hay. My dad, thankful for the way I was raised, he, like your dad, he was a man's man, full of integrity.
Sure.
You knew when he said to do something, if you didn't do it, there was a price to pay.
Right.
But he loved baling hay. Man, it seemed like, from my recollection, and I'm sure this is from looking back on it, I thought my dad would figure out how to find the hottest days in the summer and say, let's bale hay.
That's right.
And so we would put hay up during the hay-in season, but he was always encouraging and thanked us for working hard at the end of the season, and he actually paid us a little bit of money. So he did clothe us and feed us and gave us shelter, but we actually earned more money for haying season. So you were raised here
That's correct.
in an agricultural community.
Yes.
Then you're a married man,
Yes. Married, 4 kids.
4 kids.
Correct.
Now that in itself is unusual in 2025.
Sure.
Most people have a hard time justifying, or justifying is the wrong term, dreaming about having larger families. A lot of people want to be just, I've got things I want to do. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think a wise person, the more kids you have, the better, right?
It can be a
Yeah,
little bit difficult in this time of age, right?
Oh, it is, just because of, the cost of living. I would agree with you there. A cheeseburger isn't, whatever, $1 anymore.
No.
The cheeseburger is right through the roof. So you've got married.
Married.
You've got 4 kids. What are their names?
We've got Haley. She's a sophomore at Wingate University down in North Carolina. Plays volleyball for their volleyball team.
So she's got athleticism, right?
She does.
Did she get that from you or mom? Now be honest.
Probably both, but maybe more mom.
Okay.
Yeah. Mom was a good athlete in college and in high school. She was able to get involved at the North Branch schools, and they had a run where they won 2 state championships.
Now is that a Class A school?
That'd be a Class B.
It's a Class B school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they got different names now, but
Right.
the old name would be a Class B, right?
Okay.
And she was all state all 4 years as a freshman. She was 3-time first team all state as a volleyball player, and her senior year she was 3rd for overall for Miss Volleyball.
Wow.
So she had a good run. North Branch has a great history of volleyball.
Right.
And then middle daughter,
Riley.
Riley,
Yep.
loves cattle, shows cattle all across the country. She gets up early, rinses her heifer, blows it out before school. Just loves the cattle industry.
Nice.
Then I've got twin boys, Tucker and Tanner, and they enjoy sports. They enjoy cattle. Tucker enjoys goats. We've gotten into some market goats and showing them across the country. And Tanner, he's been all over the country showing heifers and enjoys that immensely.
So I know there's been some conversation as of late getting in the goat business, but I want to back up a little bit to the cattle business.
Sure.
A lot of people think that this guy's got cows. These aren't just cows, are they?
No. They're what we call a recip cow. So a recip cow,
Okay.
we're taking the embryos, flushing them out of our donor cows.
Okay, so back up.
Yep.
Back up, because I know people don't understand this.
Sure.
So when you say flush a cow during a heat cycle,
Correct.
do you inject them so they super ovulate, or
They do get some shots where they ovulate.
so they drop
yep.
more? They drop more eggs.
Correct.
Than normal, right?
Correct.
And then they would inseminate them, right? Artificially inseminate
Correct. The eggs.
the eggs.
Yep.
And then they let the eggs. They make an embryo, right?
Yep. So it fertilizes the egg. Right?
Fertilizes the egg, correct.
The insemination, and then once the egg is fertilized, you can actually put them in fresh. So you've got 3 days to kind of get them transported, and at that time you've got to have your cows in sync.
A heat cycle.
A heat cycle, so they can accept the egg.
Right.
The other option you can do is you can freeze the egg, and then once the egg is frozen, you can transport it, you can ship it, you can get it, you can put it in your semen tank, and then once your recips are synced, then the embryologist, veterinary, whoever does your egg work, can then place that egg in the recip cow.
So when you say freeze an egg, it's not like you go put it in your freezer.
That's
it's
correct.
It's a nitrogen tank, right?
That is correct. Yes, similar to bull semen, where we'd store
Right.
bull semen. Correct.
Right. And how long will it in suspended animation? Is it good? Is it good for a year, 2 years?
Once it's frozen, it's good forever. So I would imagine we're just kind of getting into it. I would imagine over time that it may lose some of its. They call it stickiness, right?
Yep.
So if it sits in the recip well.
Excuse me.
But I would assume that people are putting in 2, 3, 4-year-old embryos
Really?
and getting them able to stick and so on. and
So
so
these
forth.
recip cows that you've got, you take a cow that has desirable traits,
Sure,
and then you take a bull that has desirable traits.
correct.
You have a breeding
Yep.
through artificial insemination,
Yep,
and then you flush the cow. That's where the flushing comes in.
correct.
You flush the embryos out,
Correct.
and then you either decide to put them in fresh,
Right.
or you put them in the tank, and you wait for other recip cows that you might put them in. So, how many recip cows do you have right now?
So just kind of gotten into it. We learned early on when we started flushing on our donors that if you're not in control and if you're may be co-opting them out,
Right.
that you, yeah, they may have a great pregnancy. They may, as a calf, come out great, but it's like the nutrition that they need,
Right.
the grasses, the hays, the protein, the mineral, all of that. If it's not your own, sometimes people don't
They might skimp a bit.
skip a bit. There you go. So we learned that if we're ever gonna make any money back in this industry,
Right.
that we kind of gotta bow up and put fences in and start running our own recips. And so that's what we've done. Last year, we started off, we had 11 recips.
Yep.
And this year, and calved them out, had a successful calving. Lost a couple, but that's
Right.
farming. Or like I like to say, ranching.
Right. Right.
And this year we're gonna be up to 30. So we'll
Good for
wind
you.
up, we'll be at 30, and we'll see where we're at from there. Basically, the biggest thing we want to do is baby steps, right?
Right.
Do you understand the whole process? Do you understand how to calve?
Right.
Do we have the space? Do we have the room?
Right.
Okay, well, we felt like we did well at 11, right? So now let's jump to 30. Okay, what are we going
Right.
to be? Do we have enough room?
Right.
We're going to have the setup proper to calve,
Right.
because once these calves are born, I mean, they've got potential to be some good high dollar
Right.
animals. So it's not like you just well, that one won't go to the stockyards.
Right.
We're out a couple bucks there.
Right.
So that's the biggest thing is baby steps, making sure we got the process down,
Mm-hmm.
make sure we have enough ground. We're big on free ranging,
Yep.
pasture, be on pasture as long as I can. Our goal is the 1st of May, end of April out on pasture, and they're out on pasture till roughly 1st of November, hopefully, depending on when we get the dews. And then
Right.
rotating some pastures and just keeping them out and being as a natural element as you can.
So, do you just run them in a pasture, or do you what they call rotationally graze?
We do rotationally graze, and we started off with a pasture that my dad, hayfield that my dad put in
Yep.
before he passed,
Yep.
and then we've been able to secure some more ground next to it,
Yep.
and so right now we've got 30 head on about 55 acres. And
So they stay in a paddock
that's correct.
for could be a day, 2 days, a week, or whatever, right?
Yeah, we run them basically about a week. So on about a 12-acre chunk, we run them for a week. And then we'll move them over to a 20-acre piece, and we'll run them for about 2 weeks, and then we'll move them over another time after 2 weeks on another 20-acre chunk, and we'll run them for about 2 weeks. Then we'll start the process over.
It's unbelievable what young folks learn by having livestock.
Sure.
I'm a huge advocate of kids having chores.
Oh, yeah.
Now, people nowadays, they don't understand that. Making your bed
Right.
and keeping your bedroom clean is not chores.
That's correct.
Get up in the morning. I remember when I was younger, getting up in the morning and having to go outside and take care of our livestock. The livestock got fed before we were fed.
Sure.
You went out and you did chores, and then when you got home from school, you did chores.
Yep.
My dad told me, and he's gone now, that this has probably been the better part of 15, 20 years ago. He said, you might not make a lot of money with them beef cattle, Dan, but what you're teaching those boys.
Oh, exactly.
I mean, because you have equipment that breaks down.
Yep.
You have an animal that gets sick.
Yep.
You have an animal that you have to process, right?
Correct.
I know just like tomorrow, it is tomorrow, we're starting the butchering process on a big steer.
Sure.
And I've got 5 grown kids, 5 in-laws, and 11 grandkids, and I've encouraged everybody that you need to have the kids here.
Yep.
Because we'll be making hamburger.
Sure.
We'll be grinding that up, and them kids will learn right there, and they'll understand where that hamburger came from, whether they're eating it here or at a restaurant or somewhere, right?
Right.
Somebody had to raise that beef up, somebody had to grow it through the months or the year or whatever, and then it had to be processed before it makes it to meat case. And I think that's really lacking
Sure.
in the majority of our society. How many kids do you think, percentage-wise, actually have been involved in farming practices?
I mean, the numbers get lower and lower every year, right?
They do.
I've seen a statistic where it's like, I can't remember how many family farms end each year, but it is a crazy number. I would say so. Know a little bit about history of where my kids go to school. North Branch, it's a farming community.
Yep.
I would say that my daughter's grade. I think there's about 160 kids. I would say that there's probably just a guesstimation 10, 15 kids that are farm raised over there, which is
In a farming community.
in a farming. So you're at 10%.
Right.
In a farming community, correct?
So in the cities, that number would be much closer to zero,
Yeah, exactly.
if not zero, right?
Exactly. Yep, that's correct.
I know we're big on the trades,
Sure.
and I think it can unequivocally be said that farming is a trade.
Sure.
I mean, it's a great trade.
Yeah.
You've heard it said in time past, dumb farmer. They're brilliant, most of them. If they're,
Exactly.
I mean, there are some in every vocation that would be considered unintelligent, right?
Right.
But the majority of farmers nowadays, what they have to know, whether it's livestock and you're going to make money
Sure.
with feeding them out, or if you're in a row crop program, it is unreal. The computers that are involved, all the sciences as far as fertilizer and cultivation and rotating of the crop. So I think farming to guys like you and I, we've seen it all of our lives, right?
Sure.
And I think it's a very viable vocation for kids to go in.
You bet.
And I do consider it a trade, and I think most everybody else would consider it a trade.
Yep.
So your kids, Riley, Tanner, and Tucker, do they all participate in the cattle business, or more so is it just Riley?
No, all the three youngers.
Right.
Haley came back for college this summer. She liked to go check the cows, watch the sunset, right? But the other three are involved daily. Whether now they're back to school, but usually I try to do vet checks in the afternoon so we can bring the cattle in, get them sorted. If I was not here and something needed to get up and get treated, those three are self-sufficient enough to be able to get them sorted, get them through the head chute. If they need to give them a shot, they can give them a shot. They have learned a pile in the last 2 years. We've probably pounded about 850 fence posts in the last year and a half, 2 years.
When people don't understand this, when you say pounded a fence post, what do you mean?
So got a post pounder on the end of a mini excavator.
Okay.
And it's a hydraulic ran. And usually Tanner's pretty precise. And so we'd stick Tanner at the string. We'd run a string 300 feet.
Okay.
We want to make sure those fence posts are straight, right? When Dan drives down the road,
Yeah,
he wants to look down. He wants
Yep.
to see straight fence posts. So,
Absolutely.
we'd stretch a 300-foot string, Tanner would be on a level, and he'd, eyeball it, get it pretty close as we started off, and then we usually stop partial way through the pounding, and he'd double check it with a level, make sure we're going straight. But all those kids were involved. Tucker and Riley, we had a 15-foot board. Our posts are 15 foot apart. They'd slide a 1x4 down. They'd stick a flag in. That was our 15-foot marker.
Yep.
So Riley and Tucker would mark the posts. Tucker would come back and drop posts down.
Yep.
He'd also pick up the posts. So Tanner had the posts all set and ready for him. So it's just a assembly line, right? Much like building a hammer.
Right.
It's a process.
Right.
Then Riley, we'd have to, we were probably, there's a lot of other things out there in the industry now, but we were kind of old school. We had a 5-foot board with our marks for the fence, the barbed wire, and Riley marked every post with a pencil, right? That's where that barbed wire's got to get stapled.
Right.
And depending on what the other kids had going on, sometimes Tanner had basketball practice. It was a lot of times it was stringing the wire. It was me and Tucker.
Right.
From where we started to where we ended, stringing barbed wire, we learned a lot.
Right.
There's going to be some headaches over the years with the stuff that we started off stringing, but
Right.
we just fix it and keep
Right.
it going. So, but no, the kids are involved all the way through the process. I used to be super amped up when we were at cow shows. Like,
Right.
a cow show is a huge sporting event.
Right.
And, you as a parent are just as competitive as your kid, right?
Right.
And when you go there, you want to win. And you
Yeah.
will do everything it takes from the last cow show to the next cow show to put you in a position to be able to win.
Right.
And last year, we ran all over Ohio, Michigan, out west some, showing calves. And it was like a major letdown if we didn't hit that top 5.
Right.
And then once we started calving, it was like a different era, right?
Right.
Because it's not about winning the banner now, which it is, and it's fun, and it's great, but now it's about what's that donor going to produce.
Okay.
And even though you get into a show and maybe you didn't do as good as you thought you should do, or you felt like, you just kind of got the raw end of the stick that day.
Right.
It's all about now what that donor's going to produce. We had a heifer this year that we showed at Junior Nationals in Wisconsin. It's a fall heifer, so she's a senior yearling. Actually, she's getting ready to have her calf here in the next couple weeks. Her end of her show career was in Wisconsin this year.
Right.
We had her haired up, and it's all about the hair in the show
yeah.
industry. We had her haired up. We had her dialed in, and we were shooting for a top 5. And, they do a top 20 at this Junior Nationals because it's pretty, like, there's a lot of good cattle there.
Right.
Probably about 1,100 cattle out of 46 different states.
So you started at 1100.
Started at 1,100. Yep. Now there's some different breeds, right? There's some
Right.
purebred Semitol. There's percent Semitols. There's full blood Semitol, which Danny has bull of,
Yep,
right?
yep,
So
yep.
in the Semitol breed, there's different aspects, right? So I would say probably in the percent semis there was let's just shoot from the hip, 450 animals.
Right.
And we get out there, we get our class, win our class. We get out there in division, win our division.
Right.
And then we get out there for the overall to pick the top 20. And we fell a little short of what our goal was, right?
Right.
But we were 8th overall, which is the best we've ever done at semi-junior nationals.
Right.
And at that point in time, I wasn't ticked.
Right.
Because I've learned what that donor cow is going to produce for
Right.
us. And
Right.
so it's like my whole thinking is changed from gotta win or do whatever we can do to win to, what's that cow going to produce for us?
Right.
And so that's been it's just one of those things where it's a different goal set, right?
Right.
And so it's been a fun thing that we've as a family have like just changed our mindset of
Right.
now what's that cow going to produce for us. So
And not only do you show her offspring, don't you sell some of them?
we do.
And that's got to be gratifying if they take something they bought from you.
Correct.
And they're able to do well at shows, right?
Yep. And that's about building a brand, right?
Right.
Just like Boss Hammer, building a brand.
Right, building a brand.
And it's just like it's just another business, right? It's all about building brands.
Right.
So we're in the cattle industry. There's guys that move cattle. There's breeders. There's breeders that move their own cattle. Our goal is we've teamed up with a great company out in Iowa. They've got brothers in Ohio. We've been buying from them since probably 2016. And if our calves are good enough from what the calves that we've bought from them, they'll end up, you know, buying them back from us on a percentage, and they'll stick them in their sale. That's probably like the mecca, right?
Right.
It's like getting into a Home Depot, getting
Yep.
into a Lowe's.
Yep.
That's kind of like, wow, like, all right, we got these guys pushing our genetics, which
Right.
came from them. So
Right.
it's a full circle, right?
Yep.
So that's really our goal, is to move as many calves as we can to the Boyert Show crew, and then from there just kind of get other guys who are moving cattle in, and see if they can't move them to their customers. In business, you work with a lot of customers, right?
Right. Right.
At Northern Log, we have about 150 orders a month, and my goal is not to deal with customers on this side. My
Right.
goal is to deal with a handful of distributors, right? And that's kind of the same scenario as these guys that move cattle. They're a
Right.
distributor. That's our goal, is to have as many calves as we can. They're high quality, and then get them moved out through the United States and get them in back into families, showing, getting them doing what we've done.
Right.
And that's really the main goal for it.
Now, you said something just a few moments ago in the conversation, building the brand, and you mentioned Northern Log Supply.
Sure.
Northern Log Supply is a business that you started,
Correct.
you own,
Yes.
as a family business, right?
Correct.
Tell us when it started,
Yep.
how you got started, and what's happened over the years.
Sure. Sure. Got married, right? 2021. Yeah. 20. No,
No, I
sorry.
was going to say, wow.
2003. Yeah, got married in 2003 in January, and right after we got married, my dad was in that term limited time, right?
Sure.
So there's I think it was 3 years where he wasn't able to run for Senate.
Okay.
He was retired from GM. My brother, who's also in the log home industry, was kind of a little irritated with his log railing manufacturer.
Right.
And so my dad's like, "Hey, Andy, what do you think about us bringing in cedar stock and making your log railing for your houses?" And Andy's like, "I mean, if that's what you want to do, yeah, I'll buy them from you."
Right.
And so my dad was like, "Hey, Pete, what do you think about working on nights and weekends and building the railing orders?" Okay. Yeah. I mean, just married, right?
Right.
January, February, we start building the pole barn at my dad's place, right?
Right.
And I don't know that my wife really understood what she was in for,
Right.
but started still working for my brother, building log homes with him. And then nights and weekends, as an order would come in, I'd process the order, right?
Right.
And then over time, we would contact log home builders and see if they had interest of our log railings, right?
Right.
We started off building log railing, then we got into log furniture because they're kind of the same pieces for the railing you use as furniture. And that was in 2003. About 2005, I was able to 4 or 5, I was able to quit my brother.
Yep.
We had enough business going in.
Yep.
We were doing hunting shows, right? The log. A lot of hunters like the log. Hunting shows. We were doing lake and cottage shows. Anywhere that rustic wood. We started getting into like tongue and groove and log siding, and I was outsourcing that through other mills. And about 2005, it was, "Hey, Dad, are we partners or are we father-son?" And that is kind of when, he had retirement from GM. He had retirement from state senator. I mean, not huge retirements, but some retirements. And it was my livelihood at that point in time.
Right.
So I wanted to keep going, right? Getting into more products, getting into more, getting into finishing, getting into getting that rustic wood out there. And he kind of really just kind of wanted to deal with railings and logs in log furniture.
Right.
So 2006, we formed Northern Log Supply, and we at that point in time we started getting heavy into the internet. I had a website built, right? That was
Yep.
kind of the internet was
Right. Yep.
newish, right?
Right.
Got a website built, and we started doing some advertising online. And before you know it, we're starting to ship this stuff,
Right.
different states, this and that. That was in 2006. I opened up a little shop down with MLT Lasers.
Yep.
Sam Palmer,
Yep.
and I rented part of his building. We had a little showroom in there.
Yep.
I had some antler lighting. It was kind of like we were trying to build a one-stop shop, right? You could come in and get your product. You could come in and get your furniture. You could come in and get antler lighting. Just kind of that rustic appeal. Started off with basically me and a secretary. And
You're a secretary?
I'm not a secretary, but
Oh, I
a
was going to
secretary.
say you're. I was
right?
saying you're not good enough looking. I mean,
That's correct. Yep. We started, had another local gentleman jump on board with us. And, he was picking up materials. We were separating materials for orders. And then we started realizing, like, hey, we got some traction here. We could, people are starting to want product pre-finished, right?
Right.
They want to stick it up already all finished. So we were outsourcing a little bit of that, but we decided, hey, we could probably bring that in house and start some finishing here. So we did that. Got into 2009, 2008, kind of when the housing crisis hit, right?
Yep.
My dad had an opportunity to go back into state senate or go into state senate. And he was like, man, the economy's not great. Da, da, da. I said, well, why don't you go back in the Senate? If I fall on my face, I've got a lot of years to recuperate from it. So
Right.
I'll buy your railing and your furniture side out, and then we'll start manufacturing that at our facility.
Right.
So we kind of discontinued the furniture. It was kind of something that my dad really enjoyed. I can't say that there was a lot of profit in it,
Right.
but he enjoyed doing it. And at
Right.
that point in time, it took up his time, right?
Right.
So 2008, we end up finding a piece of property up in Mayville, which is the town that we were born in. They had an industrial park that they were trying to start. We were able to put up a facility there. And we had a local contractor help build it. When we left the place where we were renting, and we moved into this new location, I thought to myself, we're never gonna outgrow this. We got so much room, right? I mean, we're good.
Right.
Had a little showroom, still had the antler lighting, still had some furniture in there. And then we had a production storage type things, and we were adding some equipment because we realized we really, if you're going to be able to control your destiny, you got to be able to control the supply, right?
Correct.
Or control the product,
Correct.
because we kept marketing online.
Sure.
Started getting a local brand, right? Getting some local awareness. Before you know it, we need another building, right? So we teed off, we put another building on. That was probably 2012.
Okay.
And we needed it for storage because we're constantly moving product out during the day so
Right.
we can work to move it back in at night, right?
Right, yep.
Efficiencies are down, right?
Right.
Half the day you're moving stuff. So put on a storage building. Thought to myself, man, we'll never fill that up, right? And it was like a T at that point in time on the buildings. And before you know it, we had an opportunity to buy out a company on the west side of the state that was mainly doing log railings, and so that's in our wheelhouse, right? So
Right.
kind of wanted to gobble up some more stake in the log railing sector. And so then we turned our storage building into more manufacturing, right? Now
Right.
we're back to moving products in and out. So 2016, we were able to buy some more property next to us. Picked up a piece of property from a local church.
Okay.
And then we were able to put another storage building on.
Okay.
And it gave us more access to grow.
Right.
Got the storage building on, got manufacturing going better,
Yep.
we got our finishing, we're increasing our finishing lines,
Yep.
and chugging, right? You always have your ups and downs,
Right. Absolutely.
whether it's cash flow, whether it's shortage on products, right? You got to work through those. But then 2019, we ended up having a fire. And
So you were chugging along, doing good.
chugging along, growing sales, picking up companies. Fire took all of our manufacturing out, took our finishing out, took our offices out. Basically, we have a cold storage building,
Okay.
and it's August. So thankfully, we were insured well.
Okay.
Good insurance company. We were able to settle within 2 months. While we were still burning, I was meeting with my agent. He was going through our coverages. It's Sunday morning. It's weird. He was there Sunday afternoon. We were going through our coverages. Okay, what do we do on Monday? Right. We got orders that were supposed to go out. We've
Right.
got employees that are ready to show up. I've got a salesman from Tennessee on the road to be here for training. What's our next steps, right?
Right.
So he walked us through that. We were able to general contract our buildings, which at that time of year, it's very difficult to get contractors in, right?
Right. Yep.
Everybody's busy. It's August. Trying to get stuff accomplished by wintertime.
Sure.
So we were able to basically double the size of our production facility. We doubled the size of our finishing room building, and just like everything, right? Blood, sweat, and tears.
Right.
76 days. We put up 20,000 square feet of building. Electrical, airlines, equipment getting set, dust collection. Had a great group of employees that jumped in. Didn't necessarily have orders to get out, so now our job today is get the building built and get equipment back set. So was able to get that done, completed right around the first of the year, and got back chugging. Right, had a bunch of companies that jumped on board with us and fulfilled our orders, so we could still keep our customer base going.
Right.
And back chugging 2020, right? What happened in 2020? Big COVID. So we just get back rolling. January and March, right? We get shut down. I don't know, whatever it was.
Right.
Try to erase that year.
Absolutely.
And before you know it, we were deemed essential. Forestry.
Okay.
Well, I categorize myself as forestry. We're dealing with wood.
Right.
So we did shut down for a week and a half, and I was like, you know what? Forget this. We got people still calling for orders. We gotta keep rolling.
Right.
We just came off of basically a year of slow cash flow, rebuilding.
Right.
We gotta, if we're gonna get through this, we gotta keep ripping. So, kept moving. Ended up having one of the best years we've ever had because people needed product to build. Right, they had time at home.
Yep.
Was able to build back inventory. So we lost our showroom, our offices. We put a little space up above our storage building. Turned that into a really small showroom. Had some offices in there. Knew we wanted to get out on a different location for access for our workflow. Instead of putting the showroom up where it was, we moved on the other side of the property. And we needed to get out of there. You got mice running through there in the wintertime.
Right.
Like we just gotta move. So 2022 we started building our showroom, spring of 2022. And we moved into there the spring of 2023. Great employee of ours, Andy Banks, Me and him pretty much built that nights and weekends. We'd get stuff done that we needed to during the day. We'd be like, all right, I'm going to go out there at 11. Can you get out there by 1? We'd throw our tool belts on, and we'd build till 7, 8 o'clock at night. And then we'd do the same thing the next day, right? So got moved into there. Got stuff ramping up again, right? Still doing a lot of marketing online. Jumped into social media a little bit. And came out with some products. We put a machine in that puts a texture, ages wood.
You're talking like this stuff right here.
That stuff right there.
That is, let's stop right there. That is absolutely beautiful. My son Danny, I think, was down at your facility, and he came back and he said, Dad, you got to see what they have to offer down there. So I came up and we looked at this. First of all, your facility is beautiful.
Thank you.
I mean, it is absolutely gorgeous, and I like hearing your story because this wasn't 20 plus years of smooth sailing.
No, not by any means.
I mean, you have to be tough, right?
You have grit.
You got to have grit. I tell people you got to get up every day and run headlong into a wall, pick yourself up, and run into it again, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, yeah, obviously you have to use your brain, but yeah, this stuff right here, this you call it textured wood or
Weathered wood. It's our weathered wood line.
it is. I've showed people this, and they absolutely love it. So anybody out there, if they need weathered wood,
That's correct.
Northern Log Supply, right?
That's right.
Get a hold of them. So continue on.
Yep. So, wanted to launch this weathered wood, right? And it's like launching a hammer.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of obstacles.
There is.
From colors of handles to just you name it, right? How the stain's applied, how it's absorbing, a lot of obstacles, and so kind of got through the hurdles. We figured out what colors we want to run, what textures we want to run, on what size of product, what species, and finally get to the point where we're ready to launch it, right? And then it's like launching, man, that's a whole nother hurdle. And how do you get this out? Our goal was to get this out in distribution, right? We want to get this out in distribution, kind of like the cattle thing. We want to get it out to distributors, let lumber yards, let you name it, buy through distributors. And we pushed hard last year for that. As hard as you could, right? Still keeping manufacturing going, still moving log siding and everything else. And then we finally realized it's like, okay, well, here's another approach. Let's get it out into the public, and let's try to push it to the public so heavy that it stirs up enough to get the distributors on board to see, what this weathered wood's like. So, so that's kind of been our approach this year, and was a good approach. First quarter, best quarter we've ever had in our history.
Nice.
Which is great. But if you can't produce it, and your timelines get pushed back, it's not great. So we were already in the middle of trying to put together an automated finishing line. And we have that for the top coat. We've got a spray oven system that's a 2-coat system. It takes about 6 seconds to put the top coat on. And we knew the last piece of it was if we can automate our staining, and then it hops on the UV line, that's going to help us so we can secure big accounts and we can do a lot of wood. And we're talking roughly we should be able to do about 30,000 feet in an 8-hour shift, from raw wood to texture to finish to stain to clear coat. And it's kind of like, how do you get the cart before the horse, right? So if you market too heavy and you get all this out there, but then you can't fulfill, you kind of shot yourself in the foot. And so we have done that with other products, and we felt like, all right, we shut down marketing after first quarter, like slow it down, right? And we started building this edition for the finishing line. We got an Italian stain machine that came in from Italy. It's been sitting in warehouse, ready to get set, waiting on getting the electricians in, and hopefully 2 to 3 weeks we've got this line up and rolling, and then we can get back to pushing heavy into the marketing for our weathered wood and our finished products.
So you are marketing Weatherwood. You're building that line. What other lines do you carry?
Yep.
If people out there are interested in looking at what you have to offer, what are they going to see?
Sure. We got kind of two different departments, I would say. We've got a commercial heavy timber department. We get into doing breweries, wineries, wedding venues. We do a lot in amusement parks, Cedar Point, Holiday World down in Indiana. We're doing a project for the DNR Museum up in the UP. I mean, we just get into. We're doing a lot of mass timber projects now. If you don't know if you're familiar with mass timber,
Not really.
it's mass timber is similar to the electric car, right?
Okay.
Where we want to control our petroleum, we want to control our natural resources, right? And the mass timber helps a little bit in that with concrete and steel. So they're using glue lam timbers for structural instead of steel and concrete, right?
Right.
And then they're using like a laminated floor system that are called. It's similar to like a SIF panel. So the SIF panel is insulated, but this is like layers of one by material that are stacked intermittently. And depending on how far it's got to span, it could be a 3-ply or a 5-ply. But you can actually set 50-foot long semi-trailer by 10, 12-foot wide panels for flooring systems.
Wow.
So, you know, a little bit is cosmetic look, right? Like Michigan State University's got a whole facility, a whole couple different buildings on their campus that they're doing in mass timber, right? Brings that wood in, right? Wood is a warm, natural feeling. You just feel comfort by wood. So it's got its advantages. We always kind of curious about like, is it really cost savings? And then we go back to the cost savings is in being able to stack these buildings quick, right? Semis can be lined up, and they can be pulling off the semi, stacking these layers of floors. The glue lams just keep going up, story. So you're not waiting for concrete to cure.
Right.
You know, most of those jobs still have concrete, still have steel. They're just trying to eliminate some of that and to speed up the process.
Efficiency.
Efficiency, correct. So we've gotten into the mass timber. Dealt with Michigan State a little bit. Been affiliated with some project planning, how to bring more mass timber to Michigan. Northern Log did a pretty good sized project for the city of Troy, outdoor ice skating rink and kind of an area for pavilion area. That was all mass timber, and did that last year. Involved in some mass timber projects in Wisconsin.
Right.
So we've got that heavy timber, mass timber commercial division, and that's ran by a local gentleman that went to school with, Cal Krieger. He's got a couple salesmen underneath him. I mean, we are in blueprints daily, from projects in Wisconsin to Chicago to New York, and that commercial division is growing. Another division, like how do you track profitability, scheduling, how are we getting glue lams being manufactured in Wisconsin back to our facility to get finished, to get maybe some more notching and cutting done, to get them repackaged, to get them shipped to whatever state, right? So he kind of handles that division, and there's growing pains, right? I mean, you get 5, 6, 7 commercial projects going on, and everybody's deadline is September.
Right.
What's going on in here? How are we going to make this happen? So a lot of scheduling. And then we kind of got our retail, division that works with log home manufacturers, and we'll call it retail wholesale side of our standard products, right? Our log siding, our log railings,
Right.
log things, beam and timber. We do a lot of front entrance trusses for homeowners, for restaurant remods. Then we get into our weathered wood, getting ready to come out with Shoshugi bond. I don't know if you're familiar with Shoshugi bond.
I am not.
It's a Japanese wood that's burnt.
Okay.
The beauty of real, true Shoshugi bond is it is water repellent because it's burnt. So you
Okay.
can use it on the exterior, and you don't have to worry about treating it. The problem with it is the process takes a long time, and there's not a real efficiency of reproducing it, right?
Right.
So we've got a method that we're creating Shoshugi bond, similar to this weathered wood.
Right.
And then we're staying at jet black. And honestly, it looks just like Shoshugi bond. Just like this looks just like barnwood. And we're getting ready to launch that here in September. And we're excited about it. So it's kind of like Boss Hammer, right?
Right.
You get going, you feel like you need this hammer. You feel
Right.
like that you need this cat's paw.
Right.
Hey, what's the next thing that goes along with this line? We're doing the same thing in wood, right?
Right.
Kind of following the crazes, right?
Right.
So the biggest thing that we've done probably in the last 4 years is we've really diversified. We were heavy log home. Then we got into the timber frame. So timber frames kind of shot up, right? The heavy timber trusses, the beam look, the outdoor porches. And then we've gotten into the mass timber, right? Because the mass timber goes right along with the timber framing. Same CAD works that you draw the timber frame, you're drawing in the mass timber. But we've gone from being mainly log, right, to that modern rustic. And that's huge right now.
Oh, that's huge.
We've got the shiplaps, we got the nickel gaps, we've got the tongue and groove, we've got the weathered barnwood, we've got a white antique farmhouse that is an antique hewn, so it's looks like it's a aged wood that's we put a country white paint on it. So you want that country white look for your kitchen, for your great room. We've got that, and I really believe like we're probably the only one that's doing this antique hewn on white, and it looks phenomenal. And probably some of the struggles that you've had at Boss Hammer is you're a manufacturer, right?
Yep.
You're a marketer.
Yep.
You're a distributor, right?
Yep.
You gotta get the product out.
Yes, sir.
And that's some of our struggles, right? Like we can come up with these great ideas, but then how do we get them out there, right? And I would say that is one of the hardest things in a small town atmosphere, right?
Right.
And so it's like you have to beat the odds, and you got to figure out how to get these products, these things, out into the masses, right? And it's brand awareness.
Yep.
And brand awareness is tough. You and I will do whatever it takes. It doesn't matter if it's 2 a.m, 3 a.m. We ran around the country. We were doing shows, log home shows, timber frame shows, and it's trying to get your name out there, right? Your brand.
Yeah.
And so I think that's probably one of the hardest things to do, along with trying to be a manufacturer. And trying to control the processes and trying to build a quality product, right? Is then now we gotta get this thing out there and get it sold, right? So that's where we're at as a company. We're growing our heavy timber and beam division. It's crazy. We're dealing with firehouses down in Detroit. We dealt with what's the new arena? Little Caesars Arena.
Yep.
We built heavy timbered park benches for them. We've gotten into libraries of mass timber. Medical care facilities now are using mass timber. Middle schools, they're all trying to incorporate this wood. We're at a great spot because, yeah, there's competition, right?
Right.
And I don't consider people competition. Because I feel like there is enough wood to be moved in this country where it's just somebody in the same industry, right? I say that because when we burnt, we had some of our competition,
Right.
that maybe back in the day we'd call them competition, jump on board and help us fulfill our orders.
Nice.
Right? And so I think that's the biggest thing, is understanding your demographics, understanding who your customers are, understanding the network of how much wood is moved through this country,
Right.
and realizing that there's a lot of opportunity for a lot of people. And some people just have a little bit different niche.
Right.
And that guy who enjoys that part of moving wood could possibly take on our lines and move to his customers that I would never ever have the
Right.
opportunity to get in with, right?
Right.
So there's a lot of wood to be moved. There's a lot of people needing hammers.
Absolutely.
We're trying to connect. We're trying to softly put on a dealer network, right? Try to get this weathered wood, the Shoshugi bond,
Right.
the heavy timber. We're getting ready to start doing box beams.
Right.
Beams are hot, right?
Right.
You got mass timber with glue lambs. You've got heavy timber with Doug fir, white oak, white pine. Well, there's a lot of people that have a house right now that, man, I'd really like to incorporate some beams. Well, but I can't get this structural. I can't, man, how am I going to figure out how to get a 20-foot 8x8 up in this great room? It's just, I want the look, but how do I do that, right? Well, we're starting to manufacture box beams out of our weathered wood.
Right.
So we can build a box beam of really any size, of really any length, that's basically hollow inside.
Right.
That you stick up in your great room, right? Man, I really want a truss. I want that truss look in my great room, but how do I incorporate that? Well, do it out of box beams.
Right.
And so we're getting ready to launch that in September. So we got Shoshugi bond, we got our box beams. We're trying to get our finishing lines done, right? Because we don't want to land on our face.
Right.
It's going to open up a lot of space in our finishing room once we get this automation going. So we're going to be able to handle those extra products. So that's kind of where we're at as a company, how we got started, what products we're moving into.
Right.
We're in the same boat trying to market,
Right.
trying to get quality product out with a quality finish.
Right.
In time frames of customers.
Right.
It's just general business, right? Every company has those same hurdles.
Right. Growing pains.
It's growing pains, correct.
Right. It's refreshing. I know we're like-minded.
Yep.
You being a businessman locally that is a patriot.
Sure.
We also at Boss Hammer, we're committed to the United States of America.
Sure.
I have a difficult time with reasoning of people that don't understand how important it is to make things here at home,
Yep.
employ your local citizens, because then the money stays right here. And manufacturing and marketing are hurdles. There's no doubt
Sure.
about that. But I think that living in the greatest country in the world, the USA here, the possibilities are still there. The potential is still there, right?
You bet.
People
You bet.
just need to go out there and need to dream. They need to believe in themselves
Yep.
and take a chance, right?
That's right.
You took a chance.
Correct.
2000 and what was it? 3, 4, 5?
2003.
2003.
Then really got into it 2004, 5.
At that time, your wife probably thought you were kind of nuts.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Now
Yep.
she's saying, man, that's my man, right?
Or she's still saying you're nuts.
Yeah, right. But you're reaping the fruits of the rewards that I should say you're getting right now, right?
Sure. Yep.
And I think that it's still out there.
It is.
We had a conversation. It was earlier in the week with the Votech kids, and just
Yes.
explaining to them the need for tradesmen, and they can
Yes.
go and they can learn a trade, and then they can go just like yourself. You were working for your brother, right? You're you're a carpenter,
Yes,
right?
it's carpenter by trade.
You're carpenter. You're
I'm a
carpenter.
carpenter.
Yeah.
I love it. I love building.
Right. You're a carpenter by trade.
Yes.
But you took it to the next level.
Correct.
You were able to lay at night and dream and think about it and say, I can do more.
Yep.
And you did more.
Yep.
Now you've got a very successful business, Northern Long Supply. You're in the cattle business.
Yep.
4 kids, a wife. I think that's the American dream.
Yeah, and we're blessed, right?
Absolutely.
We're blessed to live in a rural area.
Yes, sir.
We're blessed to be, everybody's got the opportunity. Everybody has the opportunity.
I would agree.
Because when I jumped into Northern Log, I was an hourly employee at 12, 15 hours a carpenter.
Right.
And I never really had this burning desire that I got to be a business owner and I need to have X amount of employees. And I think it's I always like to say, when your plow is in the ground, you're always moving forward.
Right.
And if you're just constantly moving forward, then you're going to move backwards some, right? You're going to fall on your face.
Right.
But if you get back up and you move forward, that's what it takes to be successful. It's a constant daily of moving forward. And there's going to be hurdles that come in, and there's going to be obstacles that you're going to hit, and you're going to be like, holy crap, how do we get over this one?
Right.
And it's going to be the next day comes in, how do we get over this one?
Right.
And oh my gosh, we had 5 employees quit this week. What do we do now, right? And my wife will hear me say it a lot, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Right.
And the biggest thing I'm trying to teach my kids is to have grit. Because if you got grit, you can conquer anything. Now more than ever, right?
Yeah, right.
You got YouTube. You can figure anything out, right?
Right.
I'm a terrible mechanic. I can figure out how to get something going, right?
Right.
I tell my kids now, all you have to do to be successful in America is, for one, show up to work on time.
Right.
That's pretty easy.
It is.
And for 2, be engaged while you're at work.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
And for 3, just do your job.
Right.
And before you know it, you're a supervisor.
Yep.
And then maybe you're a part owner.
Right.
Because it will just naturally take over the process. Now, if you want to come into work and you just want to be an employee, there's a lot of just employees. But this day and age, these kids, I'll call them kids, I'm not very old, but these kids have more opportunity than ever before because there's a generation that is getting out of the workforce. Pay scales are higher than they've ever been.
Right.
Right? Cost of living's up, yep, no doubt. But you don't have to go out and buy a new gator. You don't have to go out and buy a new gun. You don't have to go out and buy a bow and arrow.
Right.
You can just buy housing and food and make it work. So
Absolutely.
wages are up, all-time highs, right, in the trades. I mean,
Yep.
and quite honestly, they were low, right?
They were.
They were low. And so these kids, Votex, we've got them in Tuscola and Lapeer County. Basically, it's Votech.
Right.
You get there, you learn the trade. I know R&B Plumbing out of North Branch.
Yep.
They
Bonners.
take a lot of summer help from those trade schools.
They do.
And you can make a really good living.
Right.
Linesmen. I mean, the list goes on and on. If you want to be successful, it is at your fingertips.
Right.
And you might have came from a family, right? That your dad's an hourly worker.
Right.
Had a good living, right? But just maybe had a good living. empower that to you to be the next person that goes out and kills it, because
Right.
it's available.
Right.
It's all what you want.
Right. Sounds like some great advice to end on. The dream is still attainable.
Sure.
So thank you so much for your time.
Appreciate
I
it.
appreciate it. You guys like, share, and subscribe. We love having you listen in. And if you need anything rustic that Northern Log Supply could help you out with, contact them. They're great people to work with, and they have incredible products. So thanks once again.